America, from Channel 00 Chico, the Break Room begins its nightly broadcast. Marty was told again that he talks too much on the channel. He's thinking about cutting back by hiring a sign language interpreter with an accent.
Welcome to the program. I'm your host Marty, and you are in the Break Room. On this episode, we'll be looking at a band from New Jersey who is a rock band. They started out about 1980, and again, from then on, they were just everywhere for about 4 or 5 years. I mean, The Tonight Show, Saturday Night Live, everywhere. Before we get into them, we'll take a look at a video clip of this band performing a song that was actually off one of their best albums. And singing with them on this particular song is a member of the Go-Go's, Belinda Carlisle. Ladies and gentlemen, The Smithereens.
Uncertainty. Now I think about the days when I let you down in so many ways. That's the time I want to cry, and the time I wonder why, and pray. My apathy is tragedy. I'm content to stay inside. This emptiness is killing me. I can run, but I can't hide. And you love me all along, when I always did you wrong. That's the time I can't forget, and it fills me with regret.
So sit back, relax, fire up a colored teeny, and watch the pictures as they fly through the air. We'll be right back.
There's a new psychedelic drug called PBS. You get blasted, but helped find the way to Sesame Street.
Welcome back. Our story about this band begins on February 9th, 1964, when America was turned on to the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show. And one particular little boy in New Jersey, Pat Denuzio, loved the Beatles. And he loved them so much that from then on, his transistor radio was locked on WABC 77. And so you hear all the Beatle, news from then on. WABC. In 1969, a young man named Jim Babjek is learning how to play guitar. He's 12 years old, and here's a picture of him getting a new guitar, maybe for Christmas. Fast forward a couple years to 1971, and Jim is graduating from junior high, going into high school. He goes to Carteret High School, I think that's how you pronounce it, in New Jersey. And on his first day as a freshman, he's introduced by a drummer named Dennis Dykin. Now, Dennis has been playing drums since he was 8 years old, and he's in high school, and he's looking for someone to play rock and roll with, looking for a band. And he sees Jim, and Jim's got this, notebook, folder, and inside the folder he's got all these pictures of The Who. And Dennis says, this is the guy I want to hook up with. And sure enough, they become good friends, and for like 4 years, they're just them two playing together, kind of like a, White Stripes kind of thing. And around their senior year, they get hooked up with one of their friends, Mike Massaro, who starts learning how to play bass guitar. So these three guys kind of are, play together on and off in the late 70s. Now, all four of these guys, Pat, Mike, Jim, and Dennis, all grow up on top 40 AM radio, and they listen to everything. They listen to rock and pop and country and R&B and blues and everything. In early 70s, Pat, who again lives about 12 miles from these other three, starts getting into Black Sabbath. And I guess he's told later that he goes to all kinds of Black Sabbath concerts. And of course, here's a picture of him dressed like Gene Simmons from Kiss, but you get the idea. In 78, he goes to see the Buddy Holly story, the movie, which I saw also at the same time, and he gets hooked. He finds an old album of Buddy Holly, and he starts kind of just like going over it. By this time, Pat is a fledgling singer, songwriter, guitarist, and he finds whatever thrill he had with the Beatles, which he still has. Now he's found somebody else, Buddy Holly, and he just is mesmerized by Buddy Holly. Pat places an ad in a local newspaper called The Aquarian looking for musicians to start a band. And Dennis, the drummer, contacts him, and him and Pat get together with a couple other guys, and they form a band called The Like. And this band practices for like 9 months. They play one show, and then they dissolve. The band breaks up. About a year later, Pat is looking to record some demos of some songs he has written, and he's looking for a drummer. Of course, he contacts Dennis, and Dennis comes down and plays drums on these demos for Pat. And during this time, Pat remembers Dennis saying that he has like this folder of all these potential band names that he's created over the years, and one of them is the Smithereens. And of course, the Smithereens is he gets the name from a catchphrase from a cartoon character named Yosemite Sam.
Why, you crazy doggone idiot! What you trying to do, blow us to smithereens? No!
Pat asks Dennis, can I use that name? Is that okay? And Dennis goes, well, I ain't using it, go ahead. So the Smithereens at least are born then. Now with this name, Pat creates a band, and it's him, a drummer, and a bass player by the name of Ken Jones. And they play for a little while, it doesn't work out, and the drummer leaves, and Pat contacts Dennis because he's like the best drummer he knows around. And they start playing together. Dennis brings along his friend Jim, who plays guitar, and Jim's heard these songs they're working on. They're all like originals that Pat has created, written. And what he does is, before he gets to practice, he creates like all these lead guitar parts for the songs that are very much like George Harrison type leads. And Pat just loves it. And according to Pat, Jim was never asked to be in the band, the Smithereens. He just kind of stayed. This version of the Smithereens plays their first show in March of 1980, and they did okay. They played a couple more shows, and then Jim and Dennis kind of convince Pat to bring in their friend Mike, who's a great bass player. They already have a bass player in Ken Jones, so Ken goes to guitar, so now it's a 5-man band, the Smithereens, and they play for a little while, but it doesn't work out with Ken. He's more like in R&B and stuff, so he leaves, and the classic lineup of the Smithereens is created. Pat, Dennis, Jim, and Mike. The Smithereens. They play everywhere. They're playing all the clubs and bars they can find in the tri-state area. It's 1980, and New York is kind of a hotbed. New Jersey, New York, for this new wave music. Pat finally gets to the point where he puts out an EP called Girls About Town. Sometime after that, he puts out another EP called Beauty and Sadness. That does okay. In fact, it's kind of a hit in Scandinavia, of all places, and they go there and play a little bit. 1984, they hook up with the great 50s songwriter, singer, Otis Blackwell, who's done like songs like All Shook Up and Don't Be Cruel and Great Balls of Fire. Anyhow, the guys in the Smithereens are backing Otis Blackwell. Let's take a look at them playing with Otis Blackwell in 1984. As 1985 hits, the guys are frustrated. Everybody else around them is getting signed to deals except them. So what happens is, taking another shot at it, Pat sends a demo to Enigma Records, which is a radio company out here in LA. By chance, this demo makes it into the hands of one of the executives at Enigma named Scott Vanderbilt. And Scott, when he was younger, he was a DJ in college, and he was a fan of the Smithereens. So the Smithereens get signed by Enigma Records. The first album they put out is called Especially For You, 1986. And one of the songs that comes off there that is kind of their first big hit that people know of is Blood and Roses. Let's take a look at that. as well as that song does, the next song does as well, and that's, of course, Behind the Wall of Sleep. Let's take a look. The band gets an opportunity to appear in a movie. It's a B movie called Class of Nukem High, and they play a band at an indoor bikini party. Let's take a quick look at them. Their second album comes out in 1988. It's called Green Thoughts. And one of the big songs that comes off that, well, there's a couple, but the first song we're going to take a look at, one of the songs off that album, is Only a Memory. And another song that is kind of a minor hit, at least I was aware of it, called House That We Used to Live In. Let's take a look at that. next, the guys are asked to create a song for a movie called Say Anything. And the song they actually created is pretty good, but it doesn't get used in the movie. And the record company says, screw that, we'll put it on your next album. So sure enough, on their album 11 is this song called A Girl Like You.
Shadows when you never felt enough to try what you do. Now I am left and another year, sometimes you waste the chance to do. Yeah, you should get it, get it all, but you know that you can got it, I'll be right there for you. First love, heartbreak, tough love, big mistake, what else can you do? I'll show you everything you want to hear. I'll see everything through. I'll do everything I have to do just to win the love of a girl like you. A girl like you. People talking, people scared, telling I'm a pretty girl, 'cause she's the place I could be. If you think it's really strange for a girl like you to be in love with someone like me, wanna tell her what you've done to her, that puts you in every other life you see.
And after that, another song off this album, which is 11, that's the name of the album, is Yesterday Girl.
I've got nothing to say. So please don't bother talking to me, I'll just disappoint you. Because I'm quite content to sit right here with nothing to do. Well, I'm not the same guy that you used to know. I used to be the guy that had some place to go. But that was yesterday, girl. Yesterday, girl. Yesterday, girl. Yesterday, girl. And you're my yesterday, girl. Yesterday, girl. Yesterday, girl. Yesterday, girl. I never wanna find an answer, 'cause I don't like the truth. And if I find just what I'm looking for, I've something to lose. So please don't go and ask me questions, I just won't feel the same. I'll do what you say, doesn't matter. And when I think about religion, well, there's no one to
They begin to collaborate with all kinds of different musicians. Pat writes a song with Julian Lennon. They do some work with Lou Reed. Again, their career is really doing well. And the next album they have out is called Blow Up. And the song off that album is Top of the Pops. Let's take a look.
walk on. Hey, hey. Big plans, big time, everything. Downtown pawn shop, bought us a ring. Heading for the top, top of the pop, top, top, top of the pop. Yeah, top, top, top of the pop. Two-time, head of the kid. With black or black, we were ready to swing. Too far gone to stop. Top of the pop, top, top, top of the pop. Hey, hey, top, top, top of the pop. Top of the pop, top, top, top of the pop. Hey, hey, top, top, top of the pop. You told me, baby, you had time to kill, but then you tossed me out like an overdue. You left in a hurry with the doctor, the band, on a one-way ride to the promised land. Top of the pop, top, top, top of the pop. Yeah, top, top, top of the pop. Walk on.
In 1994, they put out an album called with Smithereens. And by 97, Mike is getting a little bit disfranchised. He wants to do some other things. He takes a leave of absence. The band finds a replacement until they figure out what to do about Mike. And he's a bass player from San Diego, California named Severo Honoracion. And he's really good. In fact, when Mike finally quits the band, Severo joins the band as a member of the Smithereens in 2005. In 1999, they put out another album called God Save the Smithereens. And this is Mike's last album. Even though, again, he's been gone for a while, he does recording on this album. And from then on, we're going to take a look at quite a few albums they put out in succession. None of them do as well as the first albums and singles do, but we're going to take a look at them anyhow. Here are the albums starting then. We have an album called Meet the Smithereens, which is primarily the Beatles' Meet the Beatles album, but all the songs are done by the Smithereens. The same year they do Christmas with the Smithereens. Later on they have the B-sides, which is Beatles songs that were on the A-sides of singles. They do the Smithereens Play Tommy, which is the Who album, and of course, like I said, Jim and Dennis are huge Who fans, so that kind of helps them out a little bit. Like they get to scratch their itch on that one. And lastly, they put out an album in 2011 called 2011. Sadly, in 2013, Pat has a really serious fall at home, and he damages his right arm and right hand, like nerve damage. And by this time, he's also gained some weight because he's been taking like steroids to fight off some other ailments he has. He's just not doing well. And sad to say, in 2017, Pat Denuzio passes away on December 12th, 2017. He was 62 years old. Mike has been back with the group for a while, and they put on a tribute to Pat, and that's done in 2018. The band decides to keep going without Pat, but they need someone to lead sing, so they start bringing in friends of theirs. One of them being Robin Wilson from the Gin Blossoms. Is it John Calso from the Calsos, the drummer, to sing, and also one of my favorites, Marshall Crenshaw, does a lot of work with the Smithereens, singing lead for them. In 2018, the band is inducted into the New Jersey State's Hall of Fame. Here's a picture of the guys with Pat's daughter Elizabeth as they are presented with this honor. And it was just so sad that Pat wasn't around for this, but a great honor. In 2020, the band puts out a single, which is two Beatles songs, P.S. I Love You and Love Me Do. And drumming on these songs is Andy White. And for all you Beatle nuts, you know who Andy White is. He's the guy that George Martin felt was a better drummer than Ringo initially and had him play on both these songs for the Beatles. The Smithereens were a great band. They were a band that was influenced by Top 40 AM in the 60s, like so many of us, and they took it to the next step. They came out in 1980, they went to 2006, and, they were as good as maybe REM, but maybe a little bit edgier. Incredible band, and again, long live the Smithereens. And lastly, I want to thank you for watching the Break Room. And so, where are the strong? And who are the trusted? And where's the harmony? Sweet harmony. We'll see you next time.
Protest songs in the 60s were kind of dull. Today's protest songs are now deep house fire. I don't know what that means.